You say you hate people, but if that were completely true, why do certain moments still affect you so deeply? Why does one rude comment stay in your head all night? Why do you replay conversations, wishing they went differently? Why do you still, somehow, care? Because people who truly don't care don't feel this much. So maybe the real story isn't that you hate people. Maybe something in you got tired of being hurt by them, and instead of breaking, you built distance. But here's what most people never realize. That distance comes with a cost you don't notice at first. Picture this. You're sitting with a group of people, friends, classmates, colleagues. Everyone's talking, sharing, and you're there, but not really there. You respond when spoken to. You smile at the right time. You say what's expected. But inside, you feel disconnected, almost like you're observing, not participating. And slowly, quietly, a thought forms. These people are exhausting. Not because they did something terrible, but because being around them feels heavy. So you start pulling back. You cancel plans. You avoid conversations. You choose silence over interaction. And at first, it feels good, peaceful, controlled, like you finally escape something draining. But then something strange happens. The more you avoid people, the less you understand them. And the less you understand them, the easier it becomes to say, I hate people. But let's slow down here, because that sentence hides something deeper. People who say they hate people are usually the ones who once cared the most. They were the ones who listened, who showed up, who gave more than they received. And at some point, they realized something painful. Not everyone thinks like them. Not everyone values honesty. Not everyone treats others with the same depth. And that realization doesn't just disappoint you, it changes you. It makes you more guarded, more selective, more distant. Not because you want to be alone, but because connections started to feel risky. Pause for a second. Think about the last time someone disappointed you. Not in a big, dramatic way, but in a small, quiet way that still stayed with you. Maybe they ignored you. Maybe they didn't understand you. Maybe they acted like you didn't matter. Now ask yourself this. Did you start pulling away after that? Because this is how it begins. Not with hatred, but with disappointment, repeated over time. Here's something most people don't talk about. When you start expecting less from people, you also start feeling less around them. You laugh less genuinely. You share less openly. You trust less easily. And eventually, you feel nothing at all. And that nothing feels safer than being hurt again. So you protect it. You build walls around it. And you call it independence. But deep down, it's emotional self-defense. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Sometimes, it's not that people are always the problem. It's that you've become hyper-aware of everything. The fake smiles, the forced conversations, the hidden judgments. You notice the small shifts in tone, the slight changes in behavior, things others ignore, you can't unsee. And while that awareness feels like strength, it also becomes exhausting. Because when you see too much, you start questioning everything. And when everything feels questionable, trust becomes rare. So instead of risking disappointment again, you disconnect. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. Until one day, you feel like you don't belong anywhere. But here's the part that might change how you see yourself. If you truly hated people, you wouldn't feel lonely sometimes. You wouldn't wish for one real conversation. You wouldn't notice when someone genuine walks into your life. But you do. And that means something important. It means you don't hate people. You hate what you've experienced with them. Think about this. There are people who drain you, and there are people who don't. There are conversations that feel forced, and there are conversations that feel effortless. There are environments that make you shut down, and there are moments that make you feel alive again. So maybe the issue isn't people as a whole. Maybe it's where and who you've been giving your energy to. Pause again. Be honest with yourself. Have you been avoiding everyone just to avoid a few types of people? Because that changes everything. Here's the subtle truth most people miss. When you close yourself off from people completely, you also close yourself off from being understood, from being seen, from being known without having to pretend. And yes, staying guarded protects you, but it also keeps you stuck in a world where no one gets close enough to prove you wrong. Real life isn't as simple as people are bad. It's more complicated. Some people will misunderstand you, some will disappoint you, but some will surprise you, quietly, gently, in ways you don't expect. And if you've completely shut the door, you'll never notice them. So here's the realization. You don't hate people. You hate inconsistency. You hate superficial connection. You hate feeling like you have to be someone you're not. And instead of filtering your world, you shrank it. But what if you didn't need to do that? What if the answer isn't to disconnect from everyone, but to become more selective about who gets access to you? Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your openness. But someone will. And when that happens, it won't feel exhausting. It won't feel fake. It will feel easy, calm, real. And maybe that's the shift. Not forcing yourself to like people, but allowing yourself to believe that not everyone will hurt you the same way. Because the moment you believe that, you stop running from connection and you start choosing it carefully, slowly, honestly. In the end, you were never someone who hated people. You were someone who felt too much, trusted too deeply, and got tired of carrying that weight alone. So you protected yourself. And that protection looked like distance. But it was never your true nature. It was just your way of surviving. And maybe now, it's time to learn a different way of living.